Picture this. Your kid is at practice and then another parent hands them a bright red sports drink. And suddenly now you're the mom deciding whether or not to say yes or no. Today we're talking about what electrolytes are, when kids really need them, and how to handle sports drinks pressure without feeling like the odd one out. I'm Steph, registered dietitian, mama of two, and the author of the Mindset and Metabolism Substack. I'm here to help you feel confident about nutrition, from everyday meals to the moments your kids need extra support. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so back to that baseball scene, because I think it captures something that so many of us as moms experience. Sports drinks, they've done an incredible job of marketing themselves as synonymous with athletic activity, hydration, caring about your kids' performance. There's imagery, athlete endorsements, the fact that they're sold literally everywhere you go. It sends this message that this is what you drink when you're active. But here's what I want you to actually know. As a dietitian and as a mom facing the same struggle with my boys, most kids, most of the time, they don't need a sports drink, but they probably need more water. Okay, there are certain situations where an electrolyte drink could be helpful, but the good news is that there are brands now that offer much better options than the colorful ones that are handed out at most of your kids' practices. So let's break this down together. Now, first things first, let's talk about electrolytes. What are they? Because at work it's thrown around a lot and you may not know quite what we're talking about. So let's get on the same page. Electrolytes are minerals. They carry an electric charge. The main ones you probably have heard about and are in these drinks are sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride. They're essential for regulating fluid balance throughout the body, for supporting muscle contraction, for keeping your cells functioning properly. And when we sweat, we lose electrolytes, particularly sodium, along with smaller amounts of potassium and magnesium. So after significant sweating at sports practices, replenishing those electrolytes along with fluids is important. Here's a key word: significant, right? Here's a reality. For most children doing everyday activities, plain water is more than enough. Kids who are just going about their day at school, a little bit of play at recess, even a typical sports practice in mild weather, they're not losing enough electrolytes to really warrant a specialized sports drinks. Their bodies are incredibly good, just like ours as adults, at regulating balance, and they get plenty of electrolytes from the foods that they're eating throughout the day. So when could they be helpful? If your kid is engaged in prolonged, intense exercise, we're talking more than 60 minutes of vigorous activity, especially in the heat or humidity, that could be helpful. Or hot weather sports, right? So at your kid's summer soccer tournament, or baseball in the July heat, or outdoor track meets, when kids are heavily sweating for extended periods of time. Illness, this is a big one, right? When your child is vomiting, has diarrhea, or fever, they can lose significant electrolytes, and this is when a replacement could be helpful. If you have a kid who is a heavy sweater, right? Some of us, even as adults, are just heavier sweaters, and we need a little bit more support even in moderate activity. But outside of those scenarios, plain water does the trick. Now, there are some nuances by age group that I want to get into. This conversation can look a little bit different depending on your child's age. For babies and toddlers under 2, you're not giving an electrolyte product without guidance from your pediatrician. The exception would be, though, if they are acutely ill with vomiting or diarrhea, in which case something like Pedialyte or an oral rehydration solution may be recommended. Daily intake of fluids or foods that are higher in sodium can be really difficult on little kidneys, so just be careful there. For preschool and early elementary kids, plain water. That's great for everyday hydration. And at this age, kids need around 5 to 7 cups of fluids a day. It's a good target to shoot for. And then for older elementary and teens or tweens, that 8 to 12 group, this is where those recreational sports drinks, the pressure really picks up. I've seen it myself. And electrolytes could be genuinely warranted if your kid is playing in that summer tournament or is doing a long practice or is a heavy sweater. But that 45-minute practice that they have in cool weather, it's not needed. Water is perfect. And at this age, around 7 to 10 cups a day. When we're talking about these numbers, though, don't get too hung up on them. Look at their overall activity, the climate, their body size, and most importantly, their thirst and their urine color. That tells a huge story. Okay, let's talk about electrolyte solutions and powders and what to look for, right? Not all electrolyte products are created equal. And the ones most frequently being handed out are honestly not that great. So let's talk about what to avoid. So your conventional ones, your Gatorade and your Powerade, these were developed for adult athletes doing intense, prolonged exercise, not a short kids practice. And they include dextrose or sugar as one of the first 3 ingredients outside of water, artificial colors, artificial or natural flavors, and honestly, the sodium content is actually a lot lower than what it should be for a true electrolyte replacement for many of these. And then also the sugar content is high. It's higher than what it needs to be. And the colors, don't get me started on the colors. The neon colors are also a flag for me. Artificial dyes have been banned from other countries, and they're linked in research to behavioral issues and hyperactivity. So we just don't need to be giving those as much as we are right now. What to look for. So if you're going to use an electrolyte product, I would recommend for one that has electrolytes in meaningful amounts. So for kids, in a serving, you're looking for 100 to 350 milligrams. Again, this is very variable with potassium, magnesium, and chloride. Low or no added sugar. If there's sugar in it, it should be minimal and from a real source. So think like coconut water or fruit juice, or even a little bit of natural glucose to help with that absorption. No artificial colors or dyes when possible, right? No artificial sweeteners, so avoiding things that say sucralose or ACE-K or aspartame on the label. Some brands will choose stevia or monk fruit for a more natural sweetener, and that's what I would lean towards. So what are my favorite options for kids? I have 3 favorites that I'm going to share with you right now. So my first is just plain coconut water with a pinch of salt. It's one of my absolute go-tos. Coconut water naturally contains potassium, and if you add a pinch of high quality sea salt, maybe something like Redmond real salt, that bumps up the sodium to a more functional level. This is genuinely nourishing. It's a whole food option, and kids love it, especially when it's chilled with some ice cubes and a little bit of lime. I also like Needed's hydration support. This powder comes in lemon, lime, and grapefruit. It's lightly sweetened with real fruit. It offers electrolytes and trace minerals. It's safe for pregnancy, kids ages 2 and up, and you simply just use different amounts of the packet. And I also love homemade electrolyte water. Again, super simple. You can make your own. Add just filtered water, maybe a pinch of salt, maybe a squeeze of lemon or orange, maybe some fruit juice or a small drizzle of honey. It's simple, inexpensive, and you know what's exactly in it. Let's talk about that social pressure again, because it's real. And I don't want you to feel like you have to be that weird health quirky mom on the sideline. So here are some practical strategies. Number 1, send them prepared. If your child arrives to practice or game already hydrated with their own water bottle, ideally maybe a fun one they're excited about, they're much less likely to reach for whatever is in the cooler. Hydration before activity matters as much as during. Number 2, bring a better alternative. If it's a hot summer tournament and you want to bring something beyond water, bring coconut water or that clean electrolyte option. Let your kids have something fun along with their teammates. You're not depriving them, you're just making a smarter choice. And if you can, bring some for their friends too. Talk to your kids about it. So for older kids, you can have a conversation like, I just want to make sure what goes in your body helps you perform and helps you feel good. Gatorade has a lot of artificial ingredients that don't work well for your body or don't work as well. We really want to keep you nourished. Kids, especially tweens and teens, they care about their performance and they often respond pretty well to that framing. They want to feel good and perform well. And give yourself grace. So there's going to be a game where your kid grabs that red Gatorade and chugs it, and the world is not going to end. One drink is not a crisis. And you're playing the long game here, right? You're building patterns and you're building understanding, and you're not trying to aim for perfection. Wrapping up, as always, you know your kid best. Some kids do a much better job staying hydrated overall if they can have something fun to drink throughout the day. A fun electrolyte powder, even when they're not active or out in the sun, may be necessary. The goal with this conversation is to provide you with ideas for how to best support their body while understanding that kids are social creatures and fun drinks are just that. We like fun drinks too as adults. There are now lots of healthy options and endless opportunities to find your flow. If you found this episode helpful, I would love if you could share it with another mom in your life. Text it to them, post it in your mom group, or send it to your kid's coach. This is the kind of information that should be way more common than it is, and you've got this.